Welcome to Unit 4.4. We are looking at standard form. Linear equations are frequently written in standard form, and you have to convert them to slope-intercept form so that you can graph them. Right? Now that we understand that slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b, and that we need it in slope-intercept form because this tells us the slope and this tells us the y-intercept, our first point, where to start, right? If they give it to us in standard form, which is ax plus by equals c, right? Something x plus something y equals something. If they give it to us in standard form, we need to convert it to slope-intercept form. And to do that, we solve for y. This is why we had to learn literal equations. Remember how you had to solve for different variables? You need to be able to solve for the variable y. Right? So, regardless of what they give you, you need to be able to manipulate the equation in order to get the y. And you can see the directions say write each equation in slope-intercept form, identify the slope and y-intercept. So we're going to do that for this first page and then see where it goes. We're solving for y. That means I need to get rid of everything else. I need to cancel it. Right now it's a positive 2x. I need to cancel it by subtracting 2x because 2x minus 2x is 0. If I'm going to subtract it from this side, I have to subtract it from this side. Alright, but what you need to recognize is that these are not like terms. They cannot be combined. So you just want to bring down your y, bring down your negative 2x, bring down your positive 3, and now it's in slope-intercept form. So you know your slope is going to be negative 2. So it's going to be going downhill, right? Negative slope. And you know that your y-intercept is positive 3, so that you know your first point is going to be on the y-axis at positive 3. And your second point is going to be down to right 1 or up to left 1. Right? Alright, again, solve for y. So subtract 4x to cancel it. That leaves you with 5y equals negative 4x minus 30. I didn't combine them. They're not like terms. I just brought them down. And I put the negative 4x before the negative 30 because that's how I need it in order to be in slope-intercept form. Right? I need it in that form. So I'm going to put the x and the coefficient first, right? Get rid of this 5 by dividing. Now you understand why we had to learn two-step equations. You're left with y equals negative 4 over 5x minus 6, because 30 divided by 5 is 6. So our slope is negative 4 over 5, and our y-intercept is negative 6. Standard form, slope-intercept form, slope, y-intercept. First point, directions to your second point. If there is no coefficient, there's an invisible 1, right? I'm solving for y. So I need to do negative 1x, which is going to leave me with negative 3y equals negative 1x plus 12. Remember, if there's no sign in front of it, there's an invisible positive sign. Same here. Invisible positive sign. Lots of invisible math. Right? We want to get rid of the whole negative 3. So we're going to divide by negative 3. That leaves us with y equals 1/3 x minus 4. 12 divided by negative 3 is negative 4. So our slope is 1/3. and our y-intercept is -4. This is our first point on the y-axis, -4. Our second point, this is directions to our second point. Up 1, right 3, right? Up 1, right 3. It's just directions. Invisible ones, visible positive sign. If it helps you, put all the invisible stuff. Alright? So we're going to subtract 1x. -1y equals -1x minus 8. And see, because I put the invisible 1 there, you know that to get rid of this negative, you have to divide by -1. So even if I didn't put the invisible 1 there, you need to know to get rid of this negative, you divide by a negative. Right? You divide by that -1 to get rid of the negative sign. Until that y is by itself, meaning that there's no coefficient in front of it, there's no negative number in front of it, there's no negative sign in front of it, you're not done until that y is by itself. Right? Invisible 1. So my slope is the invisible 1. My y-intercept is +8. First point, directions to the next point. If you end up with a whole number and you need to graph it, for it to be graphed, it needs to be a fraction. To be graphed, it needs to be a fraction. Right? Which means if you get a whole number, you can put it over 1 without changing its value, right? It doesn't change anything when you put it over 1. So your first point will be on the y-axis at 8, and your second point will be up 1, right 1. And then again, up 1, right 1. And then again, up 1, right 1. As many times as you need to until you realize your points are all in a line. Alright, let's look at 5 and 7. You do 6 and 8. Alright, so 5, solve for y, subtract 4x from both sides. We're left with -y equals -4x plus 0. You don't have to put the plus 0 because it changes nothing. To get rid of this, we're going to divide by negative. Basically, we're going to change all the other signs. Right? Dividing by a negative changes all the signs. So you're left with y equals 4x. And again, you don't have to put the 0. It's invisible. If you need to put it, put it. It doesn't hurt anything to put it. So your slope is 4. And your y-intercept is 0. Positive 0, negative 0, they're the same thing. Don't get panicky about that. Alright, 7. Solving for y. This is a -6x. This is one term. This is the term -6x. So, we're going to add 6x to cancel it out. 4y equals 6x plus 20, right? That's a positive. We want to get rid of this 4, so we're going to divide everything by 4. Y equals 6 over 4 can be simplified to 3 over 2. Both of them can be divided by 2. 3 over 2x plus 20 divided by 4 is 5. So our slope is 3 over 2. And our y-intercept is 5. Alright, and then flip to the second page. I will continue with the odds. You get the evens. Solve for y. This is a positive 3x, so we're going to subtract 3x. That gives you 3y equals negative 3x minus 12. Divide it all by 3. To isolate the y, negative 1x minus 4. You could just put y equals negative x minus 4, and that's correct. The one coefficient tends to be invisible. So you can put it or not put it. It's still correct. Your slope is negative 1. This is why it helps you to put it, though, because it reminds you that your slope is negative 1. If you look at here, you can tell your slope is negative 1, but only if you remember there's an invisible 1. Your y-intercept is negative 4. Solve for y. Subtract 12x from both sides. Negative 9y equals negative 12x minus 9. Remember, we're putting it in this order because it matches our formula, mx plus b. We need the mx to be before the b. We need it to be in this order so that we can tell what's the slope and what's the y-intercept. Divide by negative 9. Y equals, both of those can be divided by 3. So 4 over 3. 4 over 3x plus 1, because any number over itself is 1. They're both negative, so it becomes positive. So our slope is 4/3, 4 over 3, 4 1/3. And our y-intercept is 1. It's going to intercept the y-axis at 1.